Welcome. Time now for our international press review today with, well, one of our best reviewers here in the station, Nadia Sharbi. I don't know whether you're starting seriously or funnily, but seriously, you take it away and tell us where you're going.
Starting in France, where the strike, of course, is on all
the
pages.
Strike, yes.
Yes. And depending on what you're reading, the view is very different and the analysis varies a lot. On the Figaro, the right-wing daily's front page, you have this headline, Raising the Ante, with three pictures. The union's unity façade. France is the only country in Europe to suffer such a movement, and the violence of one union in Marseille. So clearly the unions are in the doghouse there.
Meanwhile, but no surprise there from the Figaro.
No, not really.
It's a stance they always take. Okay.
Exactly. And Libération, the left-wing daily on the other side, has this headline, Anti-Sarkozy demonstrations. It's walking, play on words there, ça marche. And they remind us that 3 out of 4 people approve the strike. So a very far cry from the Figaro. And in France, the strikes and demonstrations are taking a radical turn at the moment. Libération has this article, Radicalisation is last hope for distressed workers, with a picture of the owner, the CEO of tyre manufacturer Continental, being egged by workers there. According to the Daily, the government has some responsibility for the situation, the radicalisation of the situation, and workers are seeking to stay in the spotlight to be remembered.
So he's being egged in reaction to the factory being closed north of Paris. Yeah?
Exactly.
I think the big shock for me there is Libération finding a funny headline, which isn't kind of like the French to be funny. Anyway, what's next?
Next is the Pope and his comments on AIDS and condoms increasing the problem of AIDS. Aujourd'hui en France actually has it as its headline today, and it has this cartoon that links the two quite well, the strikes in France and the condom story. Rançon, a cartoon of the Pope offering his help to deal with the social unrest in France. And the answer is, no, thank you so much, Holy Father, we'll be fine. Which, considering the situation, is quite amusing. And the front page is, in fact, the Pope creates unease, which is very unusual for Aujourd'hui le Parisien, this kind of weather when there's a strike. And Le Monde also has a cartoon, because, of course, the way the press has dealt with this story is through cartoons. A drawing by Plantu. After the miracle of multiplying bread, the multiplication of condoms. It shows Jesus in a boat over a sea of black faces, so in Africa, distributing condoms. Nonsense, says a bored-looking Pope Benedict just behind him. And behind him, Bishop Williamson cries, also, AIDS never existed. A reference to the last Vatican scandal.
Okay.
And Italian dailies are not amused with this cartoon in Le Monde by Plantu. The news of the story on condoms is front page, but also they're coming back on this cartoon, as you can see there. Jesus and condoms, the controversy over Le Monde. There's a debate over how far caricatures could and should go. Christian Democrat says he's offended by this cartoon and says it's a throwback to the characters of Mahomet in 2005. And there's a fine line between humour and religious offence, so we're all the way back to this. The question is, Can we go that far?
No comment from the Vatican about that.
No, but Il Giornale does say, another Italian daily, that the Vatican on its website has kind of tweaked the words of the Pope. The main story is the Pope's words, and the words have been doctored to go from condoms increase the problem of AIDS to they could make the problem worse. So it's subtle, but clearly the Vatican itself is slightly uneasy.
One thing is, though, that the Pope and the Catholic Church have always been very consistent about this, so you can't accuse them of inconsistency, can you?
No, but you could ask them to move on with their times, perhaps.
I'm sure that's what the health workers who are campaigning to try and stop the spread of the virus would actually say. Nadia, we need to leave it there, I'm afraid. I know you've got lots more to say, because you usually go on forever. So, again, thank you very much for that. That's our International Press Review with Nadia Sharbi. Stay with us here in France 24.